Okay, it's 6:02, so I'm going to begin the meeting. Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephen Cagle. I'm Vice President of Communications and Business Planning at Centro. Also from Centro at this public hearing are Centro's CEO, Brian Schultz, and our Deputy CEO, Christopher Tuff. Also, several members of our staff are also in attendance as well, and Maggie Russell is our ASL interpreter for individuals who could require her services. With that, I will begin tonight's public hearing. This is on Centro's proposed fare restructuring for Syracuse and Onondaga County. As I mentioned, we had an earlier session today that began about noon, ran for about 45 minutes. Tonight, the session will begin at 6 o'clock, and we'll run this until we run out of questions from the general public. We'll begin by providing an overview of the service changes or the fare changes that Centro is proposing. You can submit comments at any time during the presentation using the question feature in the meeting control panel on your right-hand side. Please limit your comments to the fare changes only. And once we finish the presentation, any questions or comments will be permitted or be addressed as appropriate. We will accept feedback through various social media and other means through February 11th, in case you know somebody who cannot be here this evening or could not attend this afternoon. Our social media is Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at GoCentroBus. You can leave a message and talk to a customer service rep at our phone system at 315-442-3400. We still accept snail mail at Centro, 200 Cortlandt Avenue, Syracuse, New York, 13205, or by fax at 315-442-3337. So as you may be aware, we are proposing a reduction in our fares, our adult fares, from $2 to $1, and it's part of an overall system restructuring. So why the change? Well, the number one reason is to entice riders, as most will see a reduction in transit costs. You may be well aware our ridership is down post-pandemic. We believe this is an opportunity to provide our members of our public an opportunity to ride more by lowering our fares and giving them more mobility options and more mobility opportunities. This also, by simplifying and consolidating our fares, gives us some fare parity. It means all of the fares in all of our city services in every community that we serve will be the same. So it's, from our perspective, the cost of a driver, the cost of a bus, the cost of providing the service is equal across all of our properties. Well, now the fares will reflect that, as well as all of the fares will be equal for what we're charging our riders. And by simplifying our fares, this will lay the foundation for us to enhance our technology and bring mobile ticketing to our services. We are currently testing mobile ticketing. If you're on one of our buses, you might see that the readers are already installed on the buses. This will allow an individual to set up an account on their smartphone and buy passes online, then pull up a QR code pass on your phone, walk up to the fare box reader, put it in front of the reader, it will beep and you've paid your fare. You can reload your mobile phone at any time. It allows you to bypass ticket vending machines. You don't need to go to the store. You don't need to go to one of our outlets to buy your pass. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. And as we get down further in the presentation, you'll also be able to buy all your passes as you board. Again, this universal pricing means that all prices will be the same in all Centro properties. It also means that all of our passes will be universal. So for the first time, that if you buy a pass in Syracuse, that pass will also be good in Auburn and Oswego, or in Utica and Rome. Previously, with different fare structures for all of our different locations, those passes were unique to the area. Now we'll have universal passes that can be used in any Centro property that we provide service. There is a little bit of an exclusion, that is for our commuter services that connect Syracuse to Oswego in Fulton or Syracuse to Auburn and the points west. That is a different fare structure. We'll get to that in a little bit. We are reducing the cost there as well, but it's different than the $1 fare. In those commuter services, we are reducing our fare zones. So currently there's 3 or 4 fare zones going from Syracuse to Oswego. There'll be 2. There are 3 that go to Auburn. Again, there'll be 2 fare zones. There'll be the city service, which is $1. We've expanded the size of that zone. And then if you cross a certain line, then it's going to be a $3 fare the further you go. We're offering simplified pass options. The day pass, which is good for 24 consecutive hours of unlimited use. Our max pass, which is good for 7 consecutive days of unlimited use. And our 10 ride pass. And these are passes that you can buy 10 at a time. They never expire. We also offer the regular full fare and a half fare for each of those options for those people and individuals who qualify for our half fare. We're also going to be able to sell all of our buses on the fare box, and by simplifying our pass options, it allows us to do this. So right now, you have to go to one of our outlets to buy your passes or at our hub. Going forward, when you board the bus at the bus stop that you normally use, you can take a $10 bill out of your pocket, let the driver know that you want to buy a 10 ride pass, put it in the fare box, driver will hit a button and you'll get a 10 ride pass. Same thing with our max pass and day passes. They're all going to be able to be purchased right on the bus. We believe this is going to be a huge convenience for our customers who don't have to go to a secondary market to get their Centro bus fares. You can buy it right on our buses and all of our properties. We currently do it in Rome. It's been very successful in Rome. Now we're expanding it to all of our properties. So getting to the nitty-gritty of the actual proposed fare changes in Syracuse and Onondaga County, the cash fare goes from $2 to $1. The half fare for those who qualify from $1 to 50 cents. Children under 6 will still ride for free. Transfers, however, we're doing away with those. So anytime anybody boards a bus and you transfer, you will be expected to pay a fare when you board that second bus. However, in an effort to mitigate the impact on those users, we've discounted and reduced the price of our day passes, our weekly max pass, and our 10 ride passes. So for example, if you are an individual who currently boards at one location, you need to transfer at the hub to get to your second location. And on the way home, you board a bus and you transfer again, and you pay $2 for your first fare and you get a free transfer. So your total round trip fare is $4. With the weekly max pass or the day pass, for that same $4, not only do you get to and from wherever you need to go, you can ride unlimited. So it's actually a better deal for individuals now that do transfer. If they use a day pass, if they transfer, they can buy a day pass and for that same $4 get unlimited rides. If you're a weekly or a daily rider and you ride every day, I would highly recommend the weekly max pass. We were discounting that from, reducing that from $20 to $12. That's $12 for 7 days unlimited rides. Very good for those individuals who use our system every day. And the 10 ride pass we're reducing from $18 to $10. We're also, as you can tell, providing a half fare option for each of those passes at half of the fare of the adult costs. On our commuter services, very similar. We're reducing the cost. If you're going to Oswego every day, it's currently $5. That's going to be reduced to $3. We're offering a half fare option for persons who qualify. Children under 6 ride for free. Again, transfers are not available for this service either. One thing we're doing with our commuter services is we're now adding an option for individuals who want to ride many times during the course of a day, or more importantly, probably, who ride every day and get it for a weekly pass. So commuters can now buy a weekly pass for $30, and that will cover the cost of their fare for the entire week. They can use it to get to and from work on Monday through Friday, make extra trips on the weekends, and they get a really good value. The day pass is a $7 pass that allows individuals who travel from Oswego, they get to Syracuse, and maybe they have to transfer to another location, and instead of having to pay a second fare when they transfer in Syracuse, that day pass will be good to get them wherever they want to go in the city of Syracuse. And the 10 ride pass will reducing from the price of $45 down to $30, also offering a $15 half fare option for individuals. One thing that's interesting about these passes, though, that these commuter passes can only be purchased on the commuter buses. So if you're taking a city service bus, you cannot buy the commuter passes on those local buses. You will be able to purchase the commuter passes out of TVMs if you are in Syracuse. So that's just the one difference in these passes and their availability. So where is the zone where it changed from $1 to $3? You know, we had to pick some place in the system where we thought it was fair. We tried to pick a location where we thought there'd be very little traffic of individuals who wanted to travel just over back and forth between the two lines and charge them $3 for a short fare. So we tried to minimize what we thought that would be. So we located the boundary line just north of Phoenix. So if you're traveling wholly within the green zone north of that line, it's $1. If you're traveling wholly south of it between the northern part of Phoenix to Syracuse, it's only $1. So the only time you'll be charged $3 is if you cross that boundary line on State Route 264 and State Route 481. Again, if you look at our services from Syracuse to Auburn and also Fulton, where the fare was $4, that's similarly been reduced to the same price as from Oswego. It's $3, $1.50 for a half fare. Children under 6 are free. Transfers are not available. And again, the same price for the day pass, the weekly max pass, and the 10 ride pass. And the zone, and also the commuter service that has previously been an extension zone to Phoenix, Skaneateles, Tully, and Central Square. Those services locations have all been included in the Syracuse fare zone. So now that's a $1 fare. Those used to be $3 fares. It was actually zone 2. It's now zone 1. So it's going to be a $1 fare. So anything really that covers Syracuse, Onondaga County, and parts nearby are going to be in that $1 zone. The service zones as you travel to Auburn and Syracuse is a little different than what we did in Oswego. We had to create a little buffer zone here. So if you look at the map that I have here, the blue area from Syracuse to just before Welch Allen is the blue zone. If you're traveling wholly within the blue zone, that's a $1 fare. If you're traveling wholly within the green zone, it's a $1 fare. And from west of Skaneateles to Auburn, if you're traveling wholly within this zone, it is a $1 fare. Also, if you're traveling to a zone that touches that zone, from one zone to a second zone, it's a $1 fare. The only time that $3 fare will be charged is if you travel from anywhere in the blue zone all the way to the black zone, or from the black zone to the blue zone. So there's a buffer there in the Skaneateles area where we had to do that because of making it so that the people in Skaneateles have an option to have a $1 zone as well. If you'll take a little closer at that zone, the actual zone borders are Old Seneca Turnpike and Montville Road, and also to the west on West Genesee Street and Skaneateles to Fuller Street. So those are the boundaries of where the zones lie. Our call bus fares are, again, we're providing fare parity with call bus services as well. All of our city call bus services will now be $2 in Syracuse. That's a reduction from $2.50 or $3. And if you're an intercity rider who use call bus services and cross those zones I mentioned before, the fare will be $6, which is twice the $3 fare, which is very consistent with what we've charged historically for paratransit services. As I mentioned, we are eliminating transfers, so we wanted to provide our riders with some perspective of how many people transfer on our bus services. As you'll see in Syracuse, we ran for all of our properties, we ran figures for pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic in Syracuse, it was about 22%. Since post-pandemic, that number has risen slightly to about 24%. So if you take a look overall, greater than 81% of all of the transfers in our system occur in Syracuse. Again, as I mentioned, the day passes and max passes have been priced to really limit the impact on those individuals who transfer, and we did that purposefully. So overall, when you look at system-wide and all the places that we serve, the impact on users, most will see a fare decrease. Matter of fact, the overwhelming majority of individuals will see a fare decrease. Some users will see no change in their fares, and very few will see a fare increase. And those people who see a fare increase are in our outlying properties where the fare already was $1, but we have discontinued issuing transfers in those locations. And as we transition from the current system to our future system, it's not really all that concerning to Syracuse, but if you're in Oswego, Auburn, Fulton, Rome, and Utica, those passes will not work that you've purchased at a vendor once we make the changeover. Well, we're reaching out to large providers of passes in those locations. We're swapping them out. If you are an individual who has a stash of those types of passes, you should reach out to us. We'll exchange them for you. But all of the passes in Syracuse, the Syracuse passes that everyone uses in the Syracuse and Onondaga County area, they will continue to work. Now, we are discounting offering the 20 and 30 ride passes going forward, but if you have them, they will still work in the fare box, and we'll honor them for probably a very significant amount of time until we think that most of them have been used up. We will not deny anybody a ride. If you have an old pass, you try to board a bus and the pass doesn't work, we will allow that individual to ride. We will direct you to a way that you can exchange that pass, so you will have the new fare media as soon as possible. You might have to go to your local Centro office or call our revenue department at 315-442-3342. And as we do these exchanges, we will do it on a ride for ride basis. There will be no cash refunds. But if you have a 10 ride pass that has 8 rides left on it and you'd like the new fare media, we will provide 8 rides for you back. We'll probably mail them out to you, get them to you as soon as possible, or have you pick them up at a location that's convenient for you. So that is essentially the entire overview of what we're proposing. If you know of any individuals who couldn't be here again, I would ask that you let them know that they can make comment or ask questions on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Go Centro Bus. They can call us, mail us, and again, as I mentioned, we are still allowing faxes. So at that point, I will be more than happy to open up the floor for comments or questions. Again, remind people that if you use the question box that is on the right side of your screen, you can just type in a question or a comment. Okay, there is a question. What is the fare on a ride where you stay on the same bus through the hub, but the route changes? You will not be required to pay a second fare. We're not going to ask people to get up off their seat in the back of the bus to pay a fare. If you have if you're fortunate enough that your service rides straight through, you don't have to reboard, then you don't have to pay a second fare. You're welcome. That's a very good question too. Any other thoughts, comments on the proposed fare changes? The question is, can you say more about the mobile payment? Is it through an app or something like that? Yes, it will be through our existing Centro Bus app. So if you currently have the app, when it is launched, there will be an option on that app to buy your passes and set up an account. So you're not going to need to download a second app. It'll be on the existing Centro Bus app, which is what we thought was very important for our customers. We didn't want them to have multiple apps and toggle between the two of them. It'll be on the same app. Another question, will cash always be accepted even after you begin using digital means? Yes, we will always accept cash. We have no plans at this point to go cashless. I know the MTA is cashless in New York City, but they have about 700 ticket vending machines that they must maintain throughout their system to do so. The other question is, will TOPS sell the new passes or will they be available only through Centro? They will be available at TOPS for the time being. That is something that we will look at in the future, whether or not we will continue to provide them at our other outlets. But for the immediate future, the TOPS locations in Syracuse will continue to sell our passes. We have reached out to TOPS, by the way, and begun the process of swapping out the old fare media for the new fare media in the outer properties. Actually, the TOPS in Syracuse don't need to switch over because that fare media will be good. But in the smaller properties where TOPS sells it, in Auburn and Oswego, we've already begun swapping out their fare media. Any impact if the question is, how will this affect Centro's budget and ability to bring back improved service? It will have no effect on our ability to bring back or improve service. We're going to be able to withstand any impact this may have on our budget. We're hoping the more people ride, the lesser the impact will be on our budget. But the ability for us to add service really is about being able to find bus operators. At this point, we are continuing to aggressively seek out candidates and potential bus riders or bus drivers. If you know of anybody who think might fit the bill for it, we'd be happy if you would send them our way. But as soon as we can get more bus operators available, we'll add some service. I will say that we are looking to add service in the beginning of March as we turn in a class of drivers. So for March, we will be adding some suburban and some urban trips to increase the frequency on our existing bus routes. So we're working as quickly and hard as we can to get back to where we were, but it's a process. And right now, it's finding bus operators is a challenge. The comment is, that's great news about March. Thank you. Yes, we're excited. We won't be 100% then, but it will be a step in the right direction. And again, we're working as soon as we can get drivers, we're going to add service. We're not going to wait until we fully staff and then add it all at once. We're going to add it as we get the opportunity to return service. We understand how important it is to our community, and when we have the ability to add service, we will. Okay, it's 6:28. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for individuals to ask questions, and if there are no further questions in a couple moments, then we will close the public hearing. The question is there a possibility of all-door boarding at busy stops with the new payment options? Not initially. We still prefer front door boarding. We don't believe that dual door boarding really would make much difference at 99.9% of our locations. There just aren't that many people waiting at a particular bus stop. So that's it's probably that won't be a change in the foreseeable future. Second question, are you changing any other paratransit options, for example, how you sign up and so on? At this point, no. We are looking at ways to perhaps provide a mobile ticketing option for paratransit, but it's a very complicated process on our end, so we're still looking at that. But our paratransit system, which quite frankly has rebounded quite well from the pandemic from a user standpoint, we don't anticipate having any significant changes to the paratransit options right now. Okay. If there are no further questions, then I am going to officially close this public hearing. Oh, one final comment. Thank you. This has been good information. I appreciate Centro reaching out to the community. Looking forward to the lower fares. Well, thank you very much for participating. We're looking forward to having more individuals use our services. That's really what it's all about. But thank you again. So at this point, I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank everyone for being here. And that's it. Thank you.